Adjectives to describe Bullet.
Legendary.
Passionate.
Knowledgeable.
Adjectives to describe your dad.
My dad's a legend.
Welcome to our home.
Hello, Rex.
One of the greatest characteristics of society today is family. Family that is generational in the thing that they love. You couldn't find a stronger family with a love of the outdoors and a love of hunting than the Vermaaks. You can go back multiple generations to great-great-great-grandfathers that started hunting. Then you have Coenraad Vermaak, the Bullet, the guy that started CVS, started the company in 1970. You won't be surprised that the Vermaak family has been doing the right thing when it comes to hunting since their inception. It's been all about people. It's been all about memories. You'll hear both Bullet and Scruff talk about that they're not in the hunting business. They're in the memory-making business.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Hugs.
Oh. Nice to see you, buddy.
What are you doing here?
I'm coming to Sangana.
All good. Where's the
Where-
nearest bar?
Nearest bar.
Skolostown.
Here we go. Let's go, bully.
It's a pleasure to meet you, finally.
Nice to meet you
Nice
too.
to meet you, sir.
Excellent. Gosh, you got us surrounded here, you guys.
I'm so privileged. So privileged to be walking in the footsteps of my dad. Coenraad, my dad, he's an icon. He's one of the most respected professional hunters and outfitters in Africa. When I think about growing up in the hunting industry, and I think about the things that I learned from my dad, I think for sure the most important thing was respect. He's one of the pioneers. He's one of the guys that got the hunting industry on the road here in South Africa, certainly. And he was one of the first landowners in South Africa to have rhino on his property. And elephants were introduced here, and there were all kinds of projects put into place in many of the areas that my dad hunted and on the properties that we owned.
You've been at Dallas Safari Club for 45 years, but you've been hunting for much longer than that, right?
Sure. Well, I guess I turned my favorite hobby into a business about 65 years ago.
Do you remember your first paying client? Do you remember that first hunt?
I do.
Do you remember what it felt like for you?
Yes, I was absolutely fine. The problem was the client. He was terrified and sitting himself. It was something that came naturally, certainly to me. It just came because I grew up around campfires, just like my kids did. They grew up around campfires, and I believe I'm a better person for having hunted all my life, and that they are better people for having hunted with me. Remember those about 2 buffalo in Zambia?
Yeah. Hold on, I think I've got a photo of them.
Yeah.
You want to tell me about this story? You want to tell me about that story?
I'll let Scruff tell you about that.
Guy Robinson was the PH.
That's right, Guy Robinson. Yeah.
He was our PH, and basically
Hammer him, Scruff.
it was
Hammer him.
basically a gift for finishing high school or about to enter my final exams of high school. And before I went out into the world and traveled, Bullet wanted to spend some quality time with me.
And I told him, if you pass, I pay. If you fail, you pay.
Yeah. At some stage in your life, you're going to pay.
Hammer him again. Hammer him, Scruff. Watch out.
So obviously, this was through a good friend of ours,
Take
and
your
this was
time.
kind of surplus quota at the end of the season. But definitely one of the most memorable trips of my whole life. I mean, I never ever dreamed that I'd go and hunt buffalo.
Hammer him
That's
again.
mutual, Scruffles. That's mutual.
Good shot. Well done, Scruffles. Careful. What do you think, Scruff?
Yeah, he's definitely a legend in the hunting world. He's extremely well known. He's got an incredible reputation, and he's a heck of a good guy. So yeah, it's been a privilege for me to grow up in the hunting industry, and having him as my mentor and as my dad. Man, I'm so fortunate. It's hard to explain.
You can't help but just fall in love with Scruff and the family that he has behind him. You can't help but fall in love with his ethos, with what he stands for. He wants to introduce this thing that he loves so much to everyone that comes to Africa for the first time, or comes to Africa for the 40th time. His enthusiasm for hunting, his enthusiasm for wildlife, his enthusiasm for showing you this place that he loves is unwavering.
You love it, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I think our flies should be different, no matter what.
I know which one you should definitely go for, without a doubt.
Yeah, that bland coloured.
It's the big scruffy one.
Which one?
Through the hole and then you pull. Just put it on the hook there.
I can't see it.
Through the
I need to
hole?
go here.
Through the hole and then pull. And make sure it stays on.
No, I mean I'm absolutely crazy about the outdoors, crazy about wildlife, crazy about taking people on safari. I love seeing Africa through our clients' eyes. It's extremely refreshing. Never ever get tired of what I do. I wake up every single morning and I've got a bounce in my step, and I realize how privileged I am to actually be where I am. And I've been fortunate to see so many beautiful places all over Africa, and encountered so many wonderful and epic wildlife sightings, and hunted some great animals, and created some incredible memories over the years. So yeah, it's something, yeah, it's deep in my soul. Taking people hunting is just a way of life for me. It's part of me, and it'll never change. Well, listen, looking after wildlife and protecting habitat anywhere in Africa is a challenge, just like in many parts of the world. But here in Africa, you've got hungry people, you've got human-wildlife conflict, and it's vital that wildlife is valued. Unless wildlife is valued, it's unlikely that it's going to be protected. See, one must think out the box.
How many bullets are we taking, Scruff? Going to war.
What's the old rule?
What's the old rule?
Take whatever you need and much more.
And much more?
Because if you look at the way that so many people live in this part of the world and in many other parts of Africa, they live way below the poverty line. You can't go to them and say to them, listen, you got to make sure that impala herd stays there because aesthetically they're important. Well, yes, they are important aesthetically, but how does that person who lives below the poverty line, how do they see those impala? And if hunting is the way, sustainable hunting is the way to generate money and an income and a livelihood for people who live in parts of Africa like this, then that will play a huge role in the success of conserving wildlife. But unless there's a true value I'm afraid you're wasting your time. Ecotourism and hunting are critically important. There are certain parts of Africa that are perfect for ecotourism. The landscape, the amount of animals you might see, the accessibility for your tourists. And then there's a huge chunk of Africa, which is the most of Africa, is more suitable to hunting safaris, to sustainable utilization. And they both go hand in hand, they work together. They're equally as important as each other. Unfortunately, the hunting industry seems to be at the short end of the stick from the ecotourism world. Any chance they get, most of the time they lambaste the hunting industry. Whereas, to be quite frank with you and quite honest with you, I think the hunting industry often complements the ecotourism industry. And we actually need to work hand in hand. At the end of the day, we both have the same vision and the same goals, which is the protection of wildlife and habitat, and of course people benefiting from it too. And so with those goals and vision, which are exactly the same, surely there's scope to work together to make it better instead of criticizing each other. Off you go, Speedmaster.
What does it feel like to know that the next generation is now coming up?
Oh my goodness. Gee.
So that's you and Caleb and you and Em on their first hunts, and now they're the next generation coming up from CVS.
Yeah, my word. This is history, Scruffles.
Yeah.
And I'd like copies of these, please.
Well, you can have those.
You sure? This one as well?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people worry that, hunting's going to disappear. A lot of people worry about what does hunting look like in the future. All you have to do is look at Em and look at Caleb, and you can be assured that hunting is being left in the right hands and the right ethos behind the activity that we all love so much.
Look, he's still standing.
You got lens caps on.
I knew they were on. Robbie, come on.
Scruffy.
We're beginning.
No.
That's fine.
So give me a clap, one of you.
One clap, thank you. Who's the better hunter?
Both of us.
Emily.
Oh.
Both.
No,
Why?
both. We're both great. No, Emily's a great shot. She knows the bush.
Caleb remains very calm all the time.
No,
Yeah.
we're both great hunters, yeah.
Both have strengths and weaknesses
We still have
in different
Yeah,
areas.
still have a lot to learn. I mean, we still, like if you look at my dad, we're still complete novices, but we have a lot to learn. For what we know, it works for now.
So you're almost like 4th, 5th generation from Marks
Crazy.
in the hunting business.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a heavy burden.
One we're willing to take.
One you're willing to take.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to take that burden?
Everything. Everything to me and him. It's our family history. It's what we were raised to do.
What we grew up learning about.
Exactly. It's our passion. So, yeah. Only excited about it.
You want to become a professional hunter?
100%. It's all I want to be.
What about you, man?
Maybe one day I'll do my PH license, but for now I'm enjoying being behind the camera, just being in the field. Yeah.
KB, you remember this day? I'm sure you do.
As clear as anything.
Yeah, for sure. And on your forehead, what's that?
It's my blood.
How did it get there?
You put it there.
There's Emmy.
And there's little Em. Look at her.
Blooded.
Yeah, but Emmy, this was Emmy's second animal.
Yeah.
Stone down.
Yeah.
At the same waterhole. Set
That's
up the
right.
blind.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We both sat there. Good times.
Good way to
Also
cut
with
your
the
teeth.
with the 243.
Good way
Both
to
of
cut your
us.
teeth.
Yeah.
And Bully was there for both of those experiences.
Exactly.
Yep.
Great to have your granddad there.
Yeah. It was very special.
It was.
Very, very special.
Is that what hunting is?
It is, definitely. It's It's memories, and well, it is really memories, and you can't get a better definition of what hunting means. I don't think it's.
I can't believe that my children are both out of school and, well, out of high school and studying, and how fast the years have raced by. I mean, it feels like just the other day I was guiding my first safari with an international client right here on this piece of land in 1995, and now suddenly I'm a parent, and I've got 2 grown children who are also passionate about the hunting industry and about wildlife and about conservation. And about taking people hunting and about seeing Africa, like I said earlier, through our client's eyes. It's been very important for me to spend as much time as possible in the bush with my family, with Sarah and Emily and Caleb. And they've been hunting from a very young age, but it's been critical for me to teach them all the right stuff, all those key words, you know, respect, admiration, passion, and purpose, actually.
My dad's a legend.
Someone I looked up, he's a role model for me. My
Yeah.
dad's a role model.
Someone we do look up to.
One of the people I love spending time with all the time. No other person I'd rather be hunting with than my dad. Teaches me so much.
I think we're very lucky to have grown up in the hunting industry. It's taught us a lot, and I think it's shaped us into who we are today. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Basically, I think Em hit the nail on the head. There's nothing, I wouldn't choose another life at all. This is, I believe, like what we were born to do. My favorite place is the bush. I love it. If I could just stay here forever, that's what I would do. Love it.
Well, it's extremely exciting. If I think about it, you know, Coenraad was the first generation to run a safari company. I am the second generation, and my children are the third generation, and that is exciting. That is really exciting, and hopefully their children will do the same. I'm banking on it. My name is Scruff Vermaak. I'm a second generation professional hunter. I'm a family man, and I'm excited about the future of hunting. Everyone has their own story. This is mine. It's in the blood.
What do you love about working with Lou and...
Oh man, they're just, well, number one, they're professional.
So Russ.
I think he hates
So from my perspective, from a boss perspective, they do what I expect and beyond.
It's up 4. It's okay, Robert. We'll carry on the message.